Solutions. Dave Burton is in the house for today's In Conversation. Hello.
Hello again. How are you doing? How's it going?
Good. Busy but good.
Yes. Yeah, I can relate to that. Yes.
Absolutely. And today we are talking about, well, our theme for the month is confidence and motivation, but we're specifically looking at confidence. But we wanted to add an extra twist on it, didn't we? We were talking before, we can talk about courage or confidence as two distinct things, but I think there's a good looking at the distinction between the two gives us some good insight into maybe how we can approach those things that really scare us.
Yeah.
So let's start with, what is courage versus confidence for you?
Wow. We don't shy away from the big questions, do we? I've been loving the confidence videos as well. So the theme, isn't it, this month? I think. Yeah. Courage and confidence. Courage maybe starts when confidence ends.
Okay.
Maybe. Is it a wiser man than me once said? I think that courage is found in fear. Mm-hmm. So to do something that fills you with fear allows you to become courageous.
Yeah.
And as you go through that, you then develop a confidence in it. So maybe getting in a ring. Josh was talking about the other day. I couldn't do that. I'm a lover, not a fighter. But you get in the ring, I imagine, and by getting in and doing it and maybe, standing your own for a little bit, you develop a courage. Yeah. And then you do it again and do it again until you're, champion.
Yeah.
So maybe the courage creates confidence, mm-hmm. But to get to that point, you've got to face your fears, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to take that first scary step. But do you find, we talk a lot, don't we, in confidence and motivation in various things. Are we too much striving for confidence without sometimes accepting, I'm going to have to deal with fear, and I can't wait until I'm not scared to do it, because that will never happen, really.
Yeah.
And if it does, then you're probably not pushing yourself to the level that you could be. You're not stepping out of your comfort zone.
We talked earlier about motivation and motivators, and fear is a great motivator sometimes, whether that's a distraction to avoid things or to face it head on and attack it. It can be really powerful to drive you to do the things that maybe scare you. Confidence in a safe situation is fairly easy to project, to pretend that you're confident in a safe situation. It's easy to sit here talking to you, forgetting about that camera, feel confident, and then when you send me the email to say you've published it, I don't have any confidence, and then the fear creeps in.
Okay.
But you still do it. You still do these things because it's good for the brand. It's good to support local businesses. That's in a way, part of that courageous thing to try and build confidence.
Yeah.
I'm not saying courageous for doing a video. Just that kind of process, maybe.
I think it is, though, because I don't know about you, and this is kind of maybe slightly off topic, but I think the reason why a lot of people say about wanting to do videos, and you're great, you just have done it, but the number of people that I hear say, I want to do videos, okay, great, how long have you been wanting to do it? A long time, but because you have to, when you go on video, you see authentically yourself. Same with public speaking. On video, no matter what, ignoring what other people think, you see yourself as you truly are, or you can see yourself not being who you truly are. And for me, that's where people maybe are scared. Taking it back to this idea of courage, is you have to have the courage to really look at yourself when it comes to doing video or public speaking or anything that puts yourself on the line.
Out there, those guys and girls at TEDx, out there, how brave and courageous are they? I think to be able to face something like that. I mean, for me, video is an essential part of my marketing strategy for the business. Yeah. It happens that I get quite a bit of very positive feedback, get a little bit negative, but that's the way it goes. It's usually my wife, I'm sure. And to try and create something, we've talked about it before, you've got to take yourself out of your comfort zone and do the things that work and don't work, and try things out. But I completely get what you're saying about putting yourself out there. I try not to watch the videos back, because it's kind of that cringy hearing yourself on tape thing. Tape, that's something that we had before download, and CDs. So you're right. You've got to kind of put yourself out there. But actually watching those videos back, which I've started to do, I like that, I didn't like that, or maybe I need to do a bit more of that.
Yeah.
And luckily I've got people around me that give me some good feedback and say, well, that didn't maybe work quite well, or whatever. So you try and do it. You try and get better at it. And then it becomes maybe more natural, or maybe like some of the guys that are going to be standing up in a couple of weeks for TED are you're just natural public speakers. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are actually very, very scared of doing it. But fair play to them for standing up and do it. I probably could. I'm fairly confident I couldn't do it.
Well, I'll tell you what though, something that I kind of have started to hear more and more from the TED stuff is a lot of them going, I'm happy public speaking, I'm more than comfortable, I do it all the time, but when they have to tell a story that really matters to them, normally something linked to their personal experience, something that's meaningful, it's a whole different ball game. And I think that's another level of courage that you have to have. And maybe that's the thing, they get confident with public speaking, but the next stage is the courage to speak about something that really matters to them. And the expectation you put on yourself to, this is my shot, this is my chance, is a huge amount of courage and fear of getting it wrong, or being judged, and your message being out there and it not being you.
Or even being misinterpreted. That's pretty painful, I would imagine. But it comes back to what we were saying about confidence in certain situations. To be able to confident in a room full of 5 people to stand up and talk is one thing. To have the confidence maybe to stand up in front of a theatre full of people is different. It can happen and you can do it. But these guys and girls are incredibly inspiring, and that person, what am I trying to say? Any kind of delivery, I think, is more effective when it's based on a personal truth, or a personal experience. So there's the emotion that's connected to that. Where that's slightly different, obviously, is acting, because good actors are able to draw on those feelings or perceived feelings to present in a certain way. I'm not an actor, and a lot of people aren't actors, and it is painful to draw on some of those stories of why people have done what they're doing, or saying what they're saying, or going where they're going, is drawn from a maybe dark or uncomfortable place. So that's courageous as well in my book.
Yeah, definitely. So we're saying that here that the courage is our kind of starting point. That's the spark really that gets us going. But too often we are looking for confidence before we've got that.
I think it's fear. That's the spark, because you get to a point you're scared of something, and the fear's in you. That's the trigger. That's the catalyst, maybe, to do something about it.
Okay.
Maybe. I think sometimes, maybe not.
I guess is it the fear of on both sides, the fear of what you want to do, but also the fear of not doing it, or the pain of maybe not doing it. Like, to share your story or to not share it can be quite you can feel like it's burning inside you and you've got to get it out. But that in itself,
the pain of not achieving what you can is also a great motivator. To get there, to get past it, you have to be courageous. Otherwise, what's the point? Because otherwise it will happen naturally and everybody be doing the things that scare. And so you need fear. As painful and as difficult it is, you need the fear to generate the pain, to generate action. Potentially. For me, anyway. I'm not suggesting anyone should follow around me with a stick, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head there when it comes to kind of business, kind of creating businesses, or just generally going out and doing your thing, be that business or projects or personal stuff. That it's the fear of not doing it, and the fear of having unfulfilled potential. And I've actually had this conversation in other situations, kind of in the last few days, and going, that's a powerful driver. Is that something that you think is quite common, or do you kind of hear or see it with people, or is it only kind of those certain life? And it's certainly something I've felt, like the fear of not fulfilling my potential. For
me, I think you're absolutely right. You kind of look back, sounds a bit morbid, but if you got a difficult decision, I use the death test. I'm on my deathbed. Do I wish I'd done it, or do I wish I'd not done it?
Yeah.
Which isn't always great, because there's things that we definitely shouldn't do that we definitely wish we'd done more of. So I'm not condoning anything like that. But if you were to look back on your life, if you'd have made that decision, taken that job, set up that business, taken a trip, whatever it is, would you regret not doing it? And if the answer to that is yes, then you kind of know what the answer is. You've got to do it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't matter how scary it is, or how difficult it is, how uncomfortable it is. You kind of owe it to yourself to know you've tried it. And if it don't work, it don't work. You've had a go.
Yeah.
But fear within itself is debilitating. It's very, very what's the word I'm looking for? I can't. It freezes you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's easy to sit here and say it, but there's a few things I'm putting off at the moment. I'm petrified.
We all are, though, aren't we? But then, is this where we have the case of going? I did a video recently about really kind of getting to know the problem, know what the problem is, and maybe is it getting to know your fear on both sides? Like, okay, I'm saying I want to do this, but I'm scared to do it. I don't have the courage to do my first vlog, for example. Okay, and we're very focused on this, but are we looking at the fear that is driving us to do it, the fear of what if we didn't do it, and going, and when the fear of not doing it, like exactly as you've said, outweighs the fear, it kind of makes it, well, it's worse to not. So it gives you that bump to go, I have two choices. I'm scared in both of them. Which one am I less scared in?
Which am I less scared
Do that one.
Why am I not doing the vlog?
Kind of almost upping, not want to say the fear, but being aware of your driver that's on the other side, and then you just have a choice. And that's what we come down to. Life's just definitely a choice, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you've got a vlog, taking this example, you've got a vlog, whatever it is, but in this case a vlog that you want to get out there and you're scared about doing it, you could just take the vlog, publish it, and then turn off all your social media so you don't know. But really, I mean, what is it you're scared about? Sometimes analysing that, and then you ask yourself that question, what you think you're scared of isn't actually what you're scared of. It might be that you're worried about the feedback or the criticism that you get when you get it out there, and actually maybe you're not worried about that because you know that the subject is so important you need to get it out there, and you believe in what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's actually, you think you look a bit of a tit on camera. I don't know, whatever it is, but maybe ask yourself what is the fear that's stopping me from doing this.
Yeah, and then you potentially have the opportunity to validate, is that the truth or not? Like, okay, people may think it's silly or agree with, well, you have the opportunity, if you really can't get through it, to go and ask people, like, I'm thinking about doing a vlog about this topic.
Rehearse it, play around with it.
Yeah, or
definitely.
would this negatively trigger something for you? Okay, well, actually, all your fear was unfounded because they don't think that at all. But it's only exactly as you said, being clear on what you're scared of.
But it comes right back to what we were talking about before we turned the camera on. Is it something that your mind's telling you to do because it doesn't want you to do it, because it's within itself, it's a bit scared of that outcome? Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, I guess the answer is, you said, it's just looking at it. There's no answer. Confidence or courage, we're never going to get away from them. We will always need more confidence. We achieve one thing and then we step over the boundary, and you need to start the process all over again, don't you?
Yeah, because once you've become confident, courageous, and ultimately confident in something, then there's something else, and you start the whole process again. Every day's a school day.
Yeah, exactly. We've just got to learn to be okay with those uncomfortable feelings and do it anyway.
Yeah, easier said than done.
Yeah, exactly. But okay, so we're going to finish with, I'm put on the spot, and I'm going to try and think of one as well. Something that you want to be more courageous for, that you're going to kind of make a conscious effort to. I have definitely put you on the spot, and I'm definitely thinking of mine now.
Yeah, making decisions.
Yeah.
I do like to mull over a big decision, which is probably right, but I probably take 3 months too long to make that decision, and decide that I'm justify it by saying I'm analysing the information to make that decision, whereas actually I should probably just take the jump a little bit earlier or a lot earlier.
Okay, that's a good one.
I'm turning on you, Liù.
Okay. For me, it might actually be the confidence or courage to focus on one thing a little bit more, to not have to have lots of things going on, and the courage, not necessarily to slow down, but to go, I don't have to do everything. And like we said about fulfilling potential, like potential's not wide necessarily, it can be deep as well, like something really in depth. Whereas I've always, well, I can't excuse, any idea's got to be realised. So the courage to focus a little bit more. It sounds like sounds like a bit of a cop-out, but for me that's quite a scary thing, to do less. The courage to do less.
And maybe go deeper in one or two things. Wow, you heard it here first, guys.
There we go. So, Dave, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's been a good chat.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.